Welcome to the strange and mysterious cases of the 3M Fear podcast. I'm Nikita Ferrao and I'm here with some special and very interesting stories. These video episodes are going to be a new addition to the 3M Fear podcast where we will talk about the dark side of the internet, conspiracy theories, and so much more. Let's get started. The Ashley Madison hack. In today's world, if you are looking for someone whom you want to date or even get married, there are multiple sites for that, such as Tinder or eHarmony. But what if you are married and wanted to have an affair? When we talk about extramarital affairs, the first thing that comes to mind is that you met someone at work, you met someone while you're out getting coffee, something like that. Basically, you bumped into someone. But what if there was a website that was dedicated only for extramarital affairs? A website where you could create an account just to find someone to date. This comes with a 100% guarantee that the person who is signing up is married. This website was called Ashley Madison. From its launch in 2002 until 2015, the website called itself the perfect place for extramarital affairs. Named after two popular girl names, this Toronto-based website was started and created by Darren Morgenstern. The idea behind the website was not to promote extramarital affair, at least that's what the owner said, but that already on marital websites and on dating websites, you had people who were married and were posing as single. So why not give them a completely new platform where they could go and find themselves someone? Ashley Madison claimed that it provided top-notch security. You could make an account and no one would ever know about you. And this website was open for both men and women. The company's CEO, Noel Biderman, even appeared in multiple ads promoting Ashley Madison, saying that you can openly have an affair and no one would ever find out. The website's tagline said, "Life is short, have an affair." By 2015, Ashley Madison had spread to over 40 countries and had 37 million customers. The series director, Toby Payton, said in an interview, quote, "The whole story is really about fantasy and reality. There's the kind of fantasy that people are living within their marriages if they're not being honest with their partners. And then you've got this fantasy that guys at Ashley Madison are very consciously creating on this site where you can go on and you can meet someone else and it can be entirely discreet and you can have this affair that's going to save your marriage." End quote. In 2002, Noel Biderman launched Ashley Madison, a website designed specifically for people looking to have extramarital affairs. By 2014, it had exploded in popularity, boasting over 37 million members and earning about $114 million in revenue. Cheating had become such a big business that Ashley Madison was thriving. Ashley Madison's business model was simple. Women could join in for free, but men had to pay a small amount of fee. And every message that was sent meant more money for the company. Unlike other websites like Match.com or eHarmony, people at Ashley Madison had to pay via credits. To start a conversation, a member would have to pay 8 credits. Once the conversation is started, any amount of messages are completely free of cost. The site also has a real-time chat feature where people can use their credits to buy chat time. Users can hide their account for free, but if they ever wanted to completely delete their profile, then they had to pay an amount of $19. $19 meant your profile is gone, your messages, your chat history, everything is gone. Or at least, that's what Ashley Madison wanted you to believe. In 2015, there was a huge data leak, and that's when people realized that not all of their chat data was deleted. Even those who paid that $19 did not have their entire chat history deleted. And this created chaos. Sometimes people's accounts were created as a prank. Your office buddy could create a fake prank account for you, and your chat history would always be there even if you were not the one to do it. If you wanted to delete it, then Ashley Madison could charge you $19. But after the 2015 leak, it was clear that even after paying that $19, the entire chat history was not deleted. Over time, Noel's wealth quickly grew. He started buying expensive things, going on luxury vacations. He had everything he ever wanted. Noel said he could do anything he wanted, except for one thing. He never had an affair himself. Ashley Madison once offered a bold guarantee to its users, promising that they would find someone or get their money back. To qualify for this guarantee, users had to buy the most expensive package. And with this package came a promise that they would surely find someone. In this package, one can send special priority messages to 18 different members each month for 3 months, send 5 Ashley Madison gifts per month, and spend at least 60 minutes in paid chats each month. Now, the problem here was that there were far more men than women using the site. Because the thing is, statistics say as men get older, they start to look for someone younger. They want that excitement in their life. But when it comes to women, they want stability. They want a long-lasting relationship. And that's why most of the women tend to stay in longer relationships, while as men grow older, they start looking for someone new. Unfortunately, that's the truth, and that's why Ashley Madison was so successful. Now, because there were a lot of men looking for women and very less women looking for men, Ashley Madison had to do something. Now, in response to everything that was happening at that time, Ashley Madison created a page called "Is Ashley Madison a Scam? Is Ashley Madison a Fraud?" Now, this article was meant to answer all the questions that people had in their mind. However, on July 5, 2016, executives Segal and Millership decided to phase out of this guarantee. Since then, it has disappeared from the website, advertising, and any promotions. Coming to 2015, everything for Ashley Madison changed. When the employees got into their work, they got a shocking message. Someone had hacked into Ashley Madison's account and threatened to release all the data if they didn't listen to them. The hackers called themselves the Impact Team. What did the hackers want? The hackers basically wanted Ashley Madison to shut down. They wanted all the data to be deleted, the company to be completely shut down, and no one should be ever able to get into Ashley Madison again. Now, whether this was done with good intentions or not, we would never know. The Ashley Madison team was given 30 days to wipe out this data, or else the hackers would release every single thing to the public, which included real-time names, email addresses, phone numbers, and even chats. Now, the hackers had a clear motive. Ashley Madison offered 2 ways for users to delete their profiles: a regular delete option and a full delete option. Noel himself had once said that the full delete option would remove every message, image, or photo ever sent on the platform. But this came with a price: $19. Pay them $19 and you will be wiped out of the website. But the hackers found out that even after paying this $19, you would not get wiped out of the website. In fact, your information could still be retrieved. And not a lot of people knew about this. And this made the hackers angry, and they decided that they were going to shut down this website forever. That night, Noel Biderman confirmed the hack in a public statement, and the authorities got involved. Ashley Madison had exactly 30 days to find the hackers and solve this risk of getting all their data leaked. A month passed, but they couldn't find anything. Noel and the authorities were shocked. Even after offering a $500,000 reward for any information about the hackers, they still couldn't find anything. Then, suddenly, a message appeared. The Impact Team had published the entire Ashley Madison database. This included credit card transactions, user logins, street addresses, profile descriptions, and even personal references and kinks. all made public for 37 million users. Noel was humiliated after everything that happened, and everyone pounced on this information. They got online and they started searching, "Is my spouse?" on Ashley Madison. After some investigation, security expert Brian Krebs confirmed that the leaked data was in fact real. The impact team was successful in their work. The men that were exposed were not just your normal working men. They included politicians, judges, NASA employees, billionaires, school staff, military members, and even religious leaders. Now, one thing to be noted is that not everyone used Ashley Madison in secret. There was this one couple named Rob and Stephanie who shared this site equally. They wanted to improve their marriage and also explore their sexuality. When Rob's information was exposed, it didn't affect their marriage because they both knew they were on the website. Rob was interested in dating younger, married women, while Stephanie, a dominatrix, was interested in finding partners who liked things that Rob didn't. The two followed their rules. Rob always had to use a condom, and they always had to tell each other whom they were seeing. Rob said he's one of the happiest married men, and Stephanie appreciated his honesty, calling him a great husband and father. However, not everyone whose data was leaked on Ashley Madison had the same fate. The public was especially curious to find out if any of their favorite celebrities was on Ashley Madison. And many were. Josh Duggar, known for the TV show 19 Kids and Counting, had paid over $1,000 for 2 Ashley Madison accounts. Sam Rader, a Christian YouTuber famous for his viral pregnancy announcement video, was also revealed to have an account. After the Ashley Madison data breach, several public figures had to face the fallout. Sam Rader, the Christian YouTuber, made an emotional announcement, admitting that he had created the account. He asked for forgiveness from God and claimed that he has been cleansed of his sin. After the Ashley Madison breach, people went crazy. In fact, a lot of scammers started approaching these people who had accounts on Ashley Madison and threatened to release their data if they were not paid $200. One company even created a sort of search engine where people could type in the names and then all the details would come out whether this person had an account on Ashley Madison or not. If this person's account was there on Ashley Madison, then once again they were threatened that if they didn't pay a certain amount of money, then all of their data would be leaked. Soon, multiple accounts, websites, all these groups started forming online. Everyone started pulling in together, trying to find out whether their known ones were on Ashley Madison. In fact, a radio station in Australia even started taking live calls and asking people if they wanted to find out if someone they love or someone they know is on Ashley Madison. During one call, they found a positive match. The name that was given matched the name that was there on Ashley Madison. The caller was both shocked and devastated to find out that their spouse was on an extramarital dating site. Now, of course, all the listeners were not devastated. Some of them were thrilled and excited. They wanted to know whether the people they knew were there on Ashley Madison or not. And these known people were not always the nicest and kindest ones. So, of course, a lot of people also got their revenge throughout this time. On August 20, 2015, there was a second dump of information. This dump was of a 20 gigabyte torrent file. The file was said to contain data relating to all the inner workings of Noel Biderman's company. One of the most shocking things about Ashley Madison, which was revealed after the leak, was that most of the women profiles were fake. These weren't real women. They were bots, or fembots as some called them. Noel referred to them as engagers. These bots were programmed to message male users, prompting them to pay to read these messages. Now, these male users who were paying money to chat with these female users didn't know that they were paying Noel to use all these fembots to chat with them. Noel had even more money now, as men believed that they were interacting with real women. In reality, Ashley Madison had over 70,000 fembots sending millions of fake messages to male users, creating this illusion that there are so many women out there. Men can just go chat on this website and talk to these women. Now, AI also is not that successful. It has some of its own downfalls, and despite using advanced AI and machine learning, these bots did not work the way that people wanted them to. Now, although these bots were designed to only message men, some of them acted as lesbians. And in 69 cases, these bots actually messaged each other, almost as if they were plotting to escape. On August 24, 2015, Toronto police announced that there were 2 unconfirmed suicides that were linked to Ashley Madison data breach. One of those deaths was later found out to be work-related issue and not the data leak. But there could be many more. We just don't know. Many marriages fell apart because of this Ashley Madison leak, and there were also a lot of tragic stories, such as a New Orleans seminary teacher named John who took his own life after his name was revealed. John's wife, Christy, shares how she found his body in the garage. She later discovered earlier that day that John had resigned from his job because the seminary had found out that he had an Ashley Madison account. Now, after everything that happened, Ashley Madison did not shut down. In fact, to stay relevant and keep expanding, they tried to innovate. In 2013, the company secretly worked on a new website called guysforlaughs.com, a comedy-based project featuring celebrities like Kevin Smith, known for Jay and Silent Bob, and Eric Stone Street from Modern Family. But after Kevin Smith backed out at the last minute, they tried to bring in Joe Rogan, but it just didn't work out. Trish McDermott, who helped find the company Match.com, said that Ashley Madison was a business built on broken hearts, ruined marriages, and damaged families. Noel Biderman would go on to say that Ashley Madison was not a website where people would come and cheat, but it was just a platform to call cheaters. Basically, he wanted to justify himself by saying that there were already cheaters outside, so why not put them together on one website? So he just wanted to say that he was not wrong, he was just bringing all the cheaters together. Now, despite building a business on extramarital affairs, Noel Biderman always said that he had a happy family. He had a loving wife and he had the best marriage. In fact, he would always go on to say how much he loved his wife and that he would never cheat on her. But he did the complete opposite. And Ashley Madison's second data dump was the proof of that. Noel was hiding a dark secret. When the second data dump was released, people found leaked email chats which showed that he was having an extramarital affair. He was having a 3-year affair with a Toronto escort named Melissa. Over the course of 3 years, they met in multiple hotels, with Melissa finally breaking it off with Noel, saying that her boyfriend didn't like it and she preferred living with her boyfriend. Behind his lavish lifestyles, including fancy cars, luxurious homes, and media attention, Noel Biderman had a secret passion for screenwriting. He tried to write scripts and even worked on a screenplay inspired by his very own website, Ashley Madison. One of his ideas was Ashley Madison Agency, a fictional story inspired by a site called ChristianCanoodle.com. Though he built an empire, Noel's double life was filled with deceit, and that would ultimately lead to his downfall. Ironically, Noel, who claimed that his company helped keep people's secrets, conducted his own affair through his very own work email, where any administrator at Ashley Madison could have easily seen his private messages. Despite saying that he would keep other people safe, their affairs, their messages, everything safe, he could not keep himself safe. After the damaging leaks, Ashley Madison launched a new 2015 advertising campaign featuring billboards across the US that ironically included Noel Biderman's wife as the model. But Noel's reputation was already destroyed. His family, colleagues, investors, everyone knew about him. His life was just falling apart. He faced numerous lawsuits totaling hundreds of millions of dollars. That too, just 1 week after the data breach. Noel was forced to step down from the company he had founded. Avid Life Media, the parent company of Ashley Madison, released a statement saying that Noel would be stepping down immediately. Since then, it is said that Noel has just disappeared, only coming back with a new LinkedIn profile, hinting that he might be working with a tech firm. The reason why this hack was so devastating for Noel was that for years, he had positioned himself as a man who, while running a site for cheaters, was not a cheater himself. He had given so many interviews saying how happy he was, how faithful he was to his wife. But the leaked emails said something else. On top of that, when people found out that they were bots chatting with men instead of having real women, that just made it all the more worse. What about all those lives that were destroyed? What about all those marriages that were destroyed? Were those men chatting with real women or bots? The most recent lawsuit resulted in a $17 million settlement. Now, it was not just bots that people were talking to, some of them were just Ashley Madison employees playing with them. I will link the series in the description if you wish to watch it. It's just 3 episodes, but the series talks about Michelle Bombshell McGee, a former stripper and adult entertainer who gained attention in 2010 for claiming to have had an affair with Sandra Bullock's husband, Jesse James. Now I'm just talking about what was said in the interview. We don't know if it is true or not, but this is what she claimed. Although McGee had done some promotional work for Ashley Madison, and she also had an account, she wasn't using the site during the 2015 hack. However, 3 men showed up to her performances with gifts, believing that they were in a relationship with her because they thought that they were chatting with her. McGee told one man that she didn't talk to anyone on the website, and he looked terrified because he had just been scammed. The series also reveals that there were multiple fake profiles that came from an Ashley Madison UK office. A former customer service representative would go on to say, "We knew they were fake. Nothing was hidden from us." She said that staffers were told to fill out a form, and she knew, in fact, everyone at Ashley Madison knew that almost everyone was chatting with a bot. From what the hackers said, they wanted Ashley Madison to be shut down. Now why, we don't know. Were they trying to do something good to the society, or did they have something else in mind? We would never know. But no matter what they did, even though they leaked all that data, the company restructured and in 2017 settled a class action lawsuit for $11.2 million. The new CEO, Rob Segel, introduced better security and other changes. The website is still running, it's still there. Today, the site claims over 70 million users. Although its marketing is much quieter than before, it is still running. As one person in the documentary said, quote, "As long as men have desires, Ashley Madison will stay in business." End quote. There are basically 2 documentaries made out of this, one on Hulu and one on Netflix. I'll link them in the description if you're interested in watching. Now, even after all of this happened, the Ashley Madison data breach, finding out about Noel Biderman's affair, his wife never left him. In fact, it is said that they are still together. As of their 2023 documentary, they are still together and happily married. So I want to know from you, please let me know in the comments, who do you think is at fault? The person who created the Ashley Madison website? The person who joined the Ashley Madison website wanting to have an affair? Or the impact team who released all of that data, ruining multiple lives? I would like to know from you. Before we end this episode, I want to add that not everything at Ashley Madison was that simple or that easy. People created an account, people found out. It's not just that. Many of the men who were chatting on Ashley Madison had no idea that they were chatting with bots. In fact, people went to extreme lengths in order to get out of their current marriage. And one of those cases ended up in murder. This is where we are going to stop today, and in the next episode, I'm going to cover what happened in that one case that ended up with murder. If you're interested in strange and mysterious stories, then do subscribe to this channel because I'm going to have a lot of interesting cases and stories for you, and all of them in video format. So if you're interested, please do consider subscribing to this channel. Thank you for joining me in this episode. Stay tuned, and I'll be back with another interesting episode. Stay kind and stay safe out there.